And I don't like his release, so stop talking about it.
I didn't say it once, but since you brought it up, I'm going to average heaps more than you. Yeah, at that price? Who? At that price, who? At that price.
No.
At that price. At that price.
No one.
No one. Good. Maddie couldn't.
Too late.
Whoa!
Too high. Too high.
I keep on asking me if Tom McCone's going to be the ruckman. It's not.
Not yet. Not yet anyway.
Not even. He's not the best ruckman in
I
cup.
want to see Gibneys and Chesters. I want to see these.
You're not going to be seeing much of Chess, aren't you?
Oh, Francis. I just got concussed.
Francis.
I just got concussed.
Doesn't care.
Tom Mitchell doesn't just tug on the ball. Tom Mitchell kicks the winning goal and he got 140. Vice captain right now.
Welcome back to SuperCoach Masters. I'm Geordie, and alongside me is my SuperCoach team because Matty's going to the hospital or some stupid excuse like that. So we're going to talk DPPs, guys, and Matty will be with us sooner in the week. We're going to just talk about all the new DPPs and all the guys who just missed them, and how do we get them where we need to get them without kind of losing a trade. So as you can see here, before we get into it, we've got a couple of coffee. Before we get into it, we've got a couple of coffee donations, Dean Field and the SuperCoach Ball. We'll get to that in the next video, guys. Do appreciate the support. But yeah, we'll do that when Matty's on, so we can both get the full kind of, get around you. Get like you're getting around us. So yeah, it was a good week for me, 2,339 of sorts, and that's with carrying Will Day. So I was going to downgrade Mackenzie and upgrade Day, but I wasn't really sold on Van Roonen. And that would have got me a Stewart, and I could have got an extra 70 or so points. But look, I've been burning through trades like an absolute madman. So I'm not going to be doing that. But this week I will. So let's get a look at, firstly, how do we get these players where we want to get them, okay? Because if I go to Sheasel, happy with that dual position, and I want him in my back line, and there is absolutely no way I can get him there without losing a trade. We're going to show you guys how to do that. A lot of people know, but a lot of you do not know how to do this. So we'll be doing that right now. So pretend we're getting rid of Cowan, and we want to get rid of, let's say, right, let's get rid of Cowan, and we'll put Sheasel up there for argument's sake, and then we'll trade in, I don't know, who should we trade in? We'll trade in Joe Menzies. He's due. Complete the trade. Happy days. Now I've got that Menzies. So now I've got Sheasel on my field where I want my Sheasel. You can then reverse the trade out to get who you want in the right spot. So let's get out of this Menzies because he's really stinking up the field already. What did he score, 19 or something? So all we need to do is just play a bit of DPP, guys. So put Mackenzie up there, select a mid to trade out, put Day there, select a defender. So then we can put Zeeble back there. And just keep on doing this until you get the same result. So for Cowan back to Menzies. So selected a midfielder to trade in, put Wilmot there. Now let's trade in Cowan back. Let's trade in Cowan. He's going to be somewhere at the bottom, I imagine. Cowan. All right, so trading Menzies out for Cowan. And look, we haven't used any trades, and we have Zeeble back here, and we've got Sheasel back here. So that's how we do it without using any trades. So you can just press that trade button, get out someone, bring someone back in, do some DPP, and all of a sudden you got Zeeble and Sheasel, two players in the back line that I couldn't do before. So that's how you do it, guys. Let's talk about the people who did get DPP because there was a fair few, and I think we'll go through them all. But let's get rid of the unimportant ones first. I don't think anyone's getting Rayner, who got defender forward. Lloyd Meek, I mean, maybe if Reeves goes out, but we're not going to be looking at him. We won't be looking at Caldwell or Farrell. Cleb Daniel got defender forward status. That's very interesting if he was the player he's been scoring like recently, but he hasn't. I'll leave him on the list though. Jaden Hunt is not bad. Hamilton no thanks. Kennedy, Aiden Kennedy, has got defender forward or whatever. He's gone. Finn McGuinness, we don't want him. Or Curtis Taylor, or Turner, or Mansell. Cordy, no thanks. Cunningham, no thanks. JJ, not anymore. Malera could be handy. We'll talk about him in a bit. Keys, Miles Bergman, nope. Roberts, no thanks for Cochin. Lockie O'Brien, no thanks. Will Hoskin Elliott, nope. We'll get rid of Saligo, and we'll get rid of Ward and Phillips. Now, these are the only ones that are really going to matter. So that's Sheasel, who's got defense forward DPP. Zeeble, defense forward, as you saw in my team. Now, this is a really handy one, guys. Will Phillips got the forward mid. So he's going to be really handy to cover some spots for the guys that kept him. And yeah, I wouldn't be trading him, but very handy on field. Ash finally got that DPP in defense. We knew he was going to do it, but he's not, like a lot of people are looking to trade him out because I think he scored a 75 or something. So not what everyone wanted. Lockie Whitfield got that, but I think he's averaging 78. So Wilmot will be handy, just to chuck around a bit, for loopholes and, just to get him where, you need the most people playing or where your zero is. Taylor Adams was interesting because if you look on the weekend, he had a fair bit of CBAs, but I think that's because DeGoey was out and he didn't even score that well. I wouldn't be rushing to get him unless you see if there's some serious season-ending injuries in Collingwood. He's there nonetheless, and he's pretty cheap. Cam McKenzie, now this, I can't believe it. So he got this, which is incredibly handy to be able to put McKenzie as your F6 while you build up to the rest of your team. But look at that. He got a 14. His break-even's 89. It's just not that. It's not friendly. It's not. If you want to keep him, there are good reasons to, because he can get that out in. But if you need to make some money, you're going to have to hold on to him for at least 3 weeks. He's only made about 80k, which is not enough, but one on the chopping block for sure, guys. Will Day, thanks for that day. Absolute superstar. Traded him, missed 2 games. Perfect. Wanganeen Malera, defender, midfielder. For the guys that had him, that's the only place you'd probably want to play him. Caleb Daniel, we spoke about before. Bailey Smith is probably one of the more interesting ones. Never got good CBAs this year. That's thus the forward thingo. But look, I'm liking Butters. Butters' CBAs had a real huge uptick in the last 2 weeks, and then you put Cornelio and a couple of others there. I don't know if he's going to be there, but if you see him starting to get more midfield and trending up, he'll be a great one to jump on. Probably miss another week or so. His break-even's around 120, so he's got a little bit more going down to do, and he needs to get that role. But one to keep in mind, Josh Bruce, defender forward, which is fantastic for me. He went off injured, or subbed off injured in that game on the weekend, but if he's playing, then I'll probably loophole him. Jaden Hunt, handy for those who got him now. Midfielder, defender. Hunter Clark, really handy. Jordan Dawson, probably one of the hottest players in the game right now. 150 and 170 odd last week. Really upping his price, and that's really handy DPP. Probably the best player on this list. Well, definitely the best player on this list. Yeah, he's going to be a tough one for the guys that don't have him like me to try and bring him in. SuperCoach is kind of like a stock market kind of thing. You don't want to bring players in when they're high, expensive and, trade them out when they're low, but the temptation is so real. Malera, defender forward, that's really handy. He's coming into some good form as well. Malera, I wouldn't be getting him personally, but he's there. Rochelle, who's had a huge uptake in CBAs from last season. I think that's because Berry's out, and they're really loving Dawson, Laird as their main midfield group with Rochelle as that third, and he's really benefiting, especially with the Crows' form at the moment. Another Crow who's not in the centre bounces is Keys, coming off a 93 and 400 odd K, 460 from memory. I don't see him breaking back into that midfield with how they're going. If he does, though, could be one to watch. Zorko, old injury, suspension prone. We don't want him. And this is a really huge one. Matty Roberts, if you haven't heard of him, he's one of the rookies that weren't on the bubble because he went down a couple of K, but he got his first full game. And if you look here for the number one most traded in player, if you are wondering why everyone's trading in this guy, he made 20K off of 93, but boy, oh boy, did he have some bad numbers as a sub, a 4, a 10, and a 27. Now, we're not expecting 93s from his, 14 touches and 4 tackles, but if he gets some 60s, he could make some good cash generation. This is projected scores of 28. I don't think that's going to be in him if he's not the sub, and I think there's a couple other players above him for the sub. But one to watch, Matty Roberts. We won't get too much into this. Let's get into the guys who just missed the DPP status, because it could have changed a lot of teams. So let's have a look, guys. Doherty missed out of midfield. I don't know if that's too relevant because a lot of people traded him out. Nick Dacos, I think he's obviously midfield would be handy just for to throw him here and there, but I don't think that's going to really affect anyone. Him moving back and forth, so not too low. Dylan Moore, not many people have him. He played a bit of midfield time. Cam Guthrie, not really that relevant. Callum Mills just missed out on defender DPP, which would have been a good get in a couple of weeks, I think. Bonds missed out on forward, which would have been absolutely amazing. Libba missed out on forward. For the guys who have him, he's having a great year. Forward would have been perfect again. Keep an eye on these dogs because, look, they could easily go at round 12 or before round 12 and get them. Speaking of it, McRae just missed out on his forward DPP. I think for the guys holding him, was really hoping he'd get it. He did not, just missed out. He's not playing a very friendly role, but he's still scoring thereabouts. I can't believe Comben missed out on Ruck. Whoever got on him, very, very disappointed. Now look at this one. I got Big Das, and if Darcy got it, I would have been laughing and just got it in English, chucked him in the forward line. That would have been amazing. Now Christian Petrarca, he just missed out. He played, I think, 80% midfield on the weekend against the Bombers. His second most for the season, and he just missed out by a couple of points of percentage on that forward line. DPP would have been so good, guys. He would have. I don't care who I would have had to trade out. He would have been in the team as a forward line player. That would have been amazing. Ashcroft would have been very handy to have the DPP, but he missed out as well. So these were the guys, the top 12, should I say. I mean, there were other ones like Drapers and stuff, but these were the closest ones to get the DPPs that just missed out. Also to, keep an eye out on this one. I don't think Darcy will be in the running next time, but it would have been so handy if he did. Just stuff to note, guys. But now that these... No, I don't want to save that. But, now, the first game, Freo and Dogs, just real quickly, I'll save the good stuff when Maddie's here. There's a lot of DPPs who go on here, and a lot of loopholes you guys can do. For one that I'm doing personally is Liam Jones. I don't trust him on the field, even though he got 88. So I'm going to keep him as an emergency. If he plays pretty good, I'll get a day up there for Ginby or similar and get his score. If not, then I can just roll the dice with a Wilmot or a Gibney or whoever I do with the trades. Another one I like, if he's not on the block, is Oscar Baker. So you can do a DPP here and a DPP here. If you get your 0, whoever he is, float him up and down. These DPPs open up so much possibilities. I'm even going to loophole Darcy because we all know he's prone for a 50 here and there or an injury game. So if he gets a 50 or an injury prone game, not only will I be very disappointed, Rado Galea, come on, take that. Also going to loop, if he's playing, Josh Bruce. So that's 4 loopholes on each line. Jones, Baker, Darcy, Bruce. Now, for example, Bruce goes off, gets an absolute cracking number. We're going to have to do some loopholes with any of these guys who aren't playing to get it. But yeah, so that's one to keep an eye out, guys. There are a lot of loopholes with Fremantle playing this Friday against Bulldogs. There's 4 in my team. A lot of people have Oscar Baker on the chopping block. And let's have a look why. I agree, his break even is 46 and his projected score is 53. But if he moves past this Freo game, he's got Hawthorn, GWS, Carlton, Adelaide, Gold Coast. If we can keep him just up until his bye or a little bit before that, I think he can score some really good numbers against Gold Coast. Adelaide, Carlton, GWS, they're really friendly matchups. Good for point scoring. So I don't really mind Oscar Baker. Oh, hold on to him if I can. McKenzie's the one that worries me, guys. If he gets a full game without Day, I think he's going to score well. If he gets a 59, he's going to lose 13k. So we're going to have to hold on to him for at least 3 weeks to get a positive cash gen. I think he can go bigger than 59s, but if you're in a good position to score, you're going to have to kind of, bite the bullets on some of these guys. Ginby, another one. Made 125k. His break-even's 81. Now, we can wait on Ginby if you want to, because look at his first 3 games, 85, 76, 104. If he does an 85, 76 and 104, he'll be going up a lot more than 27k, which is projected if we hold on to him for the next couple of rounds. So it all depends, guys, on your structure. But for me, Ginby, McKenzie, Oscar Baker on the block. Bruce is as well if he doesn't get up, even though he hasn't made a lot, but can't wait around forever. Radaglia he scored really well, but anyway, we'll get into all that stuff in the other videos, but the best trade options and the best trade ins. This is just a quick one to talk about some DPPs. Is there anyone that you thought would be handy if they had it? Petrarca, Bonds, Darcy would have been amazing. Yeah, that's it, guys. So that's a quick one to let you know about the DPPs, how to get these guys in. As you can see, all my trades are still here, and I've got Ziegler and Sheaves on the back line. Yeah, it's going to be a really good week with all these DPPs. Hopefully we can get some other big scores and continue to climb that ladder. And next time you see me will be with Matt Zeeves. So I'll look for you guys on the next one. Thank you heaps for the support, and see you on the next one, guys.